take two, Mark.
Action. What was my last question? Hello, America. I'm your host, Marti Gould Cummings, and welcome to the Marti Report. In 2017, poet and artist Andrea Jenkins made history as the first out Black trans woman elected to public office when she won her election with 73% of the vote for the Minneapolis City Council. Councilmember Jenkins, welcome to the show. Let's dive right into the deep end. Never has there been an out Black trans person elected to public office. So what effect do you think this had on your candidacy?
Honestly, I never thought about it as being a trans woman running for office. I always thought about it as I am a public servant. I want to build my community. I want to improve my community. I just thought, I'm gonna run for office.
I'm gonna run, yeah. What for you was the kind of catalyst or driving force to say, okay, I'm gonna enter this arena of politics and run for city council?
People had been asking me to run for office for a long time. I've worked as a policy aide, assisting 2 different council members for almost 15 years. And I would very reflexively say, I'm never running for office, right? Because I know what it's about. I know the lifestyle. I know the toll that it takes on your family, on your social life, and all of those things. However, it was an open seat, and then this reality TV star was elected president. And
that old guy, yeah.
Said, yeah. That was really, the impetus. It's the resistance.
Sure, I think that's so many people's kind of moment of either running for office or getting involved in politics, whether it be on the local, state, or federal level. It was really that, democracy is fragile and things can go really wrong really quickly. You talked about how, politics weighs on your family. So I want to know, when you were growing up, what was your kind of political upbringing with your family?
So I grew up in Chicago. It's a very political town, Chicago. Not only electoral politics, but sort of social politics as well. Home to the Black Panther movement, lots of Black nationalists. And so there was always this political vibe in the air, just sort of surrounding Chicago.
So you grew up with that kind of feeling of political activism. It was kind of ingrained into you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. I want to ask, so you've been involved with the Transgender Oral History Project for some time. Can you kind of explain to us a little bit what that is?
Sure. So the Transgender Oral History Project at the University of Minnesota was a 3-year project that actually, because it was so successful during my tenure, it was refunded for another 3 years. There's gay history, Stonewall, 50 years we just celebrated last year. There's lesbian history. There's a little less around bi communities. And then there was literally no history around trans identified people and gender nonconforming people. And so we thought, what we really need to do is talk to people directly to get their stories.
Humanize the issue.
The issue, preserve the stories. There's so many movies, novels, books being written about trans identified people, but not really from a first person perspective. So we wanted to create an archive that would have the stories of real trans identified people, people of color, disabled trans folks, just everyday transgender.
Telling trans stories about a diverse group of trans people. I think that's so important. I think it's important also for the entire queer community to recognize how critical trans people were in our movement, in Stonewall, in the AIDS epidemic, really fighting and paving the way, and then kind of histories push them to the side. So I think it's important. We need to, like you said, uplift these voices.
I was able to interview 198 unique individuals, and so those archives live at the University of Minnesota. They're accessible online.
These are all free?
These are all free. It's in several formats, so you can watch a video, you can read the transcripts, or you can just listen to the audio.
The audio like a podcast.
Like a podcast.
That's great. I love a good podcast, girl. Okay, so what do you want to see out of the first 100 days of this next presidency?
Well, I think it makes a difference who wins, right? If Trump wins again, I want to see the Women's March times 100. Like, we need to be taking over the streets and protesting and making our voices heard. If the Democrats win, which I think we will, I think in the first 100 days we need to make sure that there's health care, access to health care for all people. We need to undo all of the attacks on women's reproductive health. Yesterday I was meeting with some people and learned that Planned Parenthood is now providing transgender health services.
Oh, really? That's great.
But even prior to that, trans people were going to Planned Parenthood because it was affordable and accessible.
Planned Parenthood is so good. I feel like conservatives focus so much on, it's abortion, but I think there's STD, STI testing, there's cancer screenings, there's treatment for all genders there. Right. It's really it's a lot of people's only access to
just your annual physicals, all of those things.
Like abortion is just such a small part of it, and to defund it and have these attacks against it really will put a lot of people at risk.
Right, and it's an attack on women, and we have to end that. Women are 50% of the entire world's population. Why is our government attacking the rights of women? And I think it really relates to trans-identified people again, because it's about who controls their own body, right? And so trans people, we say we're autonomous. We get to say what happens with our body, not a whole bunch of white dudes in Washington, D.C.
Old white man who,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing.
It's the same thing with women's health.
Okay, so we're gonna do a speed round of questions. I would someday love to see this campaign. So for your campaign for president, what would your theme song be?
I think I'm gonna have to go with some Bae.
Yes, the queen, the queen.
The queen.
Yes. Okay, so politics is super overwhelming, as we know. So what are some things that you do to retreat when politics is too much?
So since I've been in office, I think I've done more yoga, more acupuncture.
And was there a moment in your life that inspired you to get involved in activism and politics?
When I was in high school, Marty, we celebrated Black History Week, okay? And so me and some of my classmates wanted to have a program at our school in the auditorium. And the principal said no. And we walked out of school. We were subsequently able to have our Black History Week program.
Who are some activists or leaders that you look to for guidance?
Just last week I was in Syracuse, New York, and drove up to Albany and went to the home of Harriet Tubman. And that is absolutely who I look to for strength and guidance and courage. Black women leaders really inspire me. I've been really inspired by the Squad.
Which one of them is your representative, right?
Congresswoman, yes, Ilhan Omar.
Oh my God, I love all of that. I want them to have they need their own show just so we can watch them all the time.
Exactly.
They're young, vibrant, smart, kicking ass. I'm
They make C-SPAN exciting again, right?
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Okay, so Andrea, we'd like to close our show with a little bit of what's on your mind. So you can choose either your hope, something that gives you inspiration, or your nope, something that you hope you never have to see or hear about again. So what is your hope or your nope?
In 2020, my hope is that we elect a leader of the free world that is intelligent, compassionate, and cares about people. And that is not the current president that we have. My note, I guess, would be in that same vein. that dude's gotta go.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Andrea. Where can America find you?
Wow. You can follow me on Twitter, on Facebook. You can check out my website, AndreaJenkinsforWard8.org, or my political website, Andrea Jenkins at Minneapolis, Ward 8. Yeah.
All right, so
Pretty all the social media.
Up on the internet. Thank you again so much for joining us today on the Marti Report. And listen up, America. We want to hear from you. You can tweet to us at LogoTV and use the hashtag Marti Report, or comment below and tell us what election topics you would like us to tackle. Please subscribe to Logo's YouTube and join us next time for another scintillating round of hot politics on the Marti Report.